Rest in pieces, Sony. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the latest masterpiece from the Sony Spider-Man universe, Kraven the Hunter. But before I get started, you know exactly what to do at the end of the video. If you think I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Kraven the Hunter introduces us to Sergei Kravinoff, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, whose origin story kicks off with him as a child, played by Levi Miller, with a lion hunting expedition gone terribly wrong. But instead of just, dying after he gets attacked by a lion, Sergei's blood is mixed with the lion's before he's given a mysterious serum by a little girl named Calypso that happens to be there. That helps him gain super strength, agility, and heightened senses. Fast forward to adulthood, Sergei uses his powers to hunt down guys that are responsible for kidnapping his half-brother Dmitri, played by Fred Hetchinger, all while dealing with his daddy issues, courtesy of Russell Crowe, his crime lord father. Along the way, Sergei teams up with an adult Calypso, played by Ariana DeBose, and will face off against villains like Christopher Abbott's The Foreigner and Alessandro Nivola's Rhino.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
Now let's just get this out of the way. I am fucking sick of these Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies. They're just a broken record of bad decisions.
Boo! You suck!
Messy writing, awkwardly directed, loaded with cringe dialogue, poorly written characters, and of course, CGI that looks like it was rendered on a PS3. Even the ones I kinda like Venom, still have these issues. Don't even get me started on Morbius and Madam Web.
How would you know if you could climb a wall if you've never tried?
Why are you the way that you are?
Those movies took the word Trainwreck to new flaming heights. Kraven's kind of in the middle. It's got flaws galore, but it also has some admittedly pretty bright spots. Here's the thing. My 12-year-old self would have been obsessed with this movie. The action, the gore, the adaptation of the comic lore. It's like a superhero Mad Lib for edgy preteens.
Shut up, Mom!
But watching it as an adult, the one word that kept running through my head was generic. This movie is the definition of a paint-by-numbers superhero film, just with a little bit of R-rated stuff tacked on there. It's not offensively bad like Madam Web or Morbius, but there's nothing here that really sets it apart from other good superhero movies. Let's just start with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Look, this dude is great in everything. Bullet Train alone, I think, is what got him the role of this movie. And he does his best to carry it here. He nails Kraven's physicality, has some surprisingly decent emotional moments, and he shines in the action scenes. But as a huge lifelong Spider-Man fan and a big fan of Kraven from the comics, I was pretty bummed that not only did he not have the Russian accent, but that they took away the one thing that has always been the main point of his character. Him being a hunter, like an actual hunter of animals, not someone that just hunts down bad guys. I get that they wanted him to be an anti-hero that audiences could connect with, but as someone that's super familiar with this character, it just felt weird. And to address the accent, we've got Russell Crowe pulling one off, so why couldn't we go all in? The action is another mixed bag. On the one hand, the R rating allows for some bloody, over-the-top moments that I thought were pretty cool. On the other hand, the CGI is, rough, to say the least. The Rhino, in particular, is so bad. If you can overlook that, the action scenes are enjoyable enough. Speaking of the Rhino, let's talk about the villains. And by talk about, I mean point out how painfully generic they are. The Foreigner and the Rhino are just kind of there. They're bad guys because the plot demands it, and their motivations are super thin. Rhino's whole deal is, I hate your dad, so I'm coming for you. That's it. That's his whole arc.
So petty.
And to talk about the plot, it's just another mishmash of superhero origin story cliches. If you've seen any superhero origin movie from the 90s and 2000s, you've seen it all before. And the dialogue? Yikes. It's a mix of clunky exposition, quips that try to echo the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and laughably on-the-nose lines like, I'm the best hunter in the world. Subtle. Even the visuals here are uninspired. The jungle scenes feel like someone put a $20 green screen over the background. And anytime we're in a cityscape, besides the establishing shot, we just get a bland concrete wasteland or a generic office building. We keep coming back to that word generic.
He said it! He said it!
Kraven's costumes are cool and his comic accurate look works, though nothing else really stands out. But let's not be entirely negative. The performances are solid across the board despite the super weak script. Fred Hetchinger brings some charisma to his limited role as Dmitri, and Ariana DeBose gives Calypso enough energy to stand out in her scenes even if she's completely underwritten. Russell Crowe doesn't have much to work with here, but he nails the Russian accent, and he's still convincing as an emotionally detached crime boss dad. I also appreciate the inclusion of other characters from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery gallery like the Chameleon. They do it well, and it's a nice nod to the comics, even if it feels like Sony's just throwing characters out there to try to fill their Spider-Man-less void. Ultimately though, this movie's like picking one fast food restaurant over another. It's not that good for you, it's definitely not that memorable, but it's not the worst thing you could consume. The action is decent, the performances are fine, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is doing his best to carry the movie. But the generic plot, bland dialogue, terrible visuals, and forgettable villains drag it down. These movies desperately need Spider-Man. I wouldn't have wanted to drag Andrew Garfield down, but he's clearly been ready to come back to the role. You could have had him in all of these. Without Spider-Man, these movies are like trying to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the bread. The individual ingredients might be fine on their own, but there's nothing to hold it all together. So, is Kraven the Hunter worth your time? Maybe if you're an Aaron Taylor Johnson fan, or you're just curious to see what kind of crazy shit Sony's cooking up nowadays. But if this is truly the end of the Sony Marvel universe, then in the words of Deadpool,
rest in pieces, Sony.
and that's my review of Kraven the Hunter. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down in the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a like, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take you to my review of Moana 2, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews and my shorts. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time, probably on Christmas, for my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. See ya.